Next is Sandy. We have the latest on her track and how folks are preparing.
I'm John Craven with the Red Cross. I'll show you what they're doing to get ready for the storm coming up.
Those stories and much more, plus the complete AccuWeather forecast with 69 News meteorologist Mark Shanaberger, and Jim Vaughn has sports. Good evening. I'm Karin Mallett. 69 News Weekend Edition starts now.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News Weekend Edition, live at 6.
It is the calm before the storm. The East Coast is bracing for Hurricane Sandy to make landfall. Preparations are underway right here in our area. Sandy is, of course, our top story tonight on 69 News Weekend Edition. Let's get right to our coverage tonight, starting with meteorologist Mark Shanaberger. He is standing by, as he has been all day, in the Weather Center with a first look at the forecast. Mark.
Yeah, we've been tracking Sandy's progress all day, and we've seen some of those outer bands of rain start to make their way into our area, and the wind speeds already starting to increase in most locations. Let's take a look at some of that rainfall that has pushed into our area, and that heavier band now passing through parts of Schuylkill County and up into Luzerne County, but it traces back through Berks and down into Lancaster and Chester County. So we're going to see some of these heavier bands develop as we make our way through the evening and overnight period tonight, and the rain overall becoming steadier and heavier as we move into Monday morning. The satellite and radar showing us the rotation of Sandy well off to our south and our east, but you can see it's pushing rain into our area, into eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey. And the interesting thing is that cold front that made its way into western Pennsylvania last night kind of got hung up, and then it was pushed back to the west by Sandy. That's how powerful a storm we are talking about here. The wind gusts that we've seen so far, 25, 30 miles an hour in some spots, sustained winds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour right now, and we'll see those increase as we move into Monday. And that cold front going to kind of hang off to our west as Sandy moves off to the north and the east and then pushes back to the west as we move into Tuesday. Here's a look at the National Hurricane Center as far as the track goes. The coordinates as of 5 p.m. It's still a Category 1 with sustained winds of 75 miles an hour. We'll put this into motion for you, and you can see it's going to make landfall early Tuesday somewhere in south central New Jersey and then push into south central Pennsylvania. And then as we move into the second half of the work week, it's off to the north and the east for Sandy as it continues to diminish. So what can we expect? I think the worst of it comes Monday afternoon into Tuesday. That's with the heavy rain. We're talking 4 to 8 inches for most locations, but locally, especially as you get into parts of Delaware Valley and southern New Jersey, we could see upwards of 8 inches of rain. Peak wind gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour. That's generally speaking. Once again, a peak wind gust of 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, certainly not out of the question, especially as you get into the Delaware Valley, southern New Jersey, and along the Jersey shoreline. We'll continue to keep you updated on this as we make our way through the evening and overnight period tonight until Sandy finally comes to an end. So keep it tuned to 69 News and the AccuWeather channel. We'll have your update on your 6-day extended forecast in a couple of minutes, but now let's go back to Karin.
All right, Mark, we'll see you then. Thanks so much. Utilities and the Red Cross are both getting ready for the storm and preparing to open shelters here in our region. We have team coverage of preparations in our area tonight. First up, WFMZ's John Craven, who is live from Breinigsville. John, very busy today.
Absolutely, Karen. It's getting windy out here, too, and you can see behind me, this is where power crews, some from as far away as Michigan, are staging for tonight and tomorrow's storm. PPL has brought in about 1,500 out-of-state crews. Now, as the Red Cross that you mentioned, they also met this afternoon putting together their last-minute preparations.
We're going to start counting 150 upper kids.
They are packing up and moving out at the Red Cross building in Bethlehem.
We're getting ready for Hurricane or Storm Sandy.
I really want to work on the shelter supplies.
Volunteers spent Sunday afternoon making sure everything is in place for emergency shelters.
We're actually going through and looking at our supplies that we already have packed into our response vehicles. We're loading up our trailer that has cots in it.
There's an order to a shelter. Everything goes in the right place. The cots go in one area, food goes in another.
Each box goes to a different shelter.
Red Cross officials won't say exactly where Lehigh Valley shelters will be yet in case the weather forces a last-minute move. Expect them to open, though, by midday Monday.
Bring a pillow, to bring a blanket, bring a change of clothing. If you have a small child and infant, and make sure that you bring diapers.
Also bring dry socks to change into, but don't bring pets. Other than service animals, shelters can't take them.
We are working very closely with CART here in Lehigh and Northampton counties to have, with our shelters, to have an area where people can keep their pets.
And WFMZ's Catherine Hawley is going to be along in just a moment to tell you some of the options for housing your pets. Now back to the Red Cross shelters. Something neat I want to show you. There's a new app that the Red Cross has these days. It's available for free on your smartphone. This shows you where all the currently open shelters are. You can see right now they're just in the Philadelphia area and in South Jersey. Of course, though, tomorrow you're going to see a lot more of those throughout our region as well. But again, this is a app if you are looking for the closest shelter to where you are. For now, we are live in Breinigsville, Lehigh County. John Craven, 69 News.
And that's a free, easy app as well, John. Thanks so much. We appreciate that. We continue our storm coverage tonight with WFMZ's Catherine Hawley. As John mentioned, she is live in Salisbury Township, Lehigh County, with more on how other parts of Pennsylvania are getting ready for the storm. Catherine?
Karen, literally everyone is mobilizing to make sure they're ready for Hurricane Sandy. For example, Kutztown University is shutting down, and groups are stepping up to help folks out. At Kutztown University in Berks County, the expected severe weather has prompted officials to take action. The campus will be closed Monday and Tuesday, and all student dorms are being evacuated.
I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do because I just got back from Virginia and I'm out of state.
Co-eds have to be out of the residence halls by 9 p.m. Sunday. Those with nowhere to go will be instructed where they can stay at the university.
I decided I didn't want to try and go out on the roads during the storm. I figured it might be safer to stay here on campus.
For folks closer to Allentown, one local business wants you to lean on them.
In the event that they lose power, they can come down and use our locker rooms, restroom facilities, showers.
Planet Fitness's Allentown West location says anyone is welcome to come by and use the gym's facilities, even if you're not a member. They don't have a generator, so just make sure you call and check they have power first.
We are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We are fully staffed 24 hours, 7 days a week.
And for anyone who's worried about their four-legged friends during this storm, the Animal Rescue League of Berks County is opening its doors.
If they decide they need to evacuate their house, give us a call. We'll do our best to try to compliment them and help them with the animals.
The organization is offering a safe place for pets to anyone who has to leave home and can't take the animals along. Give the ARL a call and arrangements will be made. The pets are welcome to stay anytime after the storm hits through Thursday.
At least here the animal has a place to stay. It's dry. We'll feed it, keep it warm.
And head to our website, WFMZ.com, for more information about contacting Planet Fitness and the ARL. Live in Salisbury Township, Catherine Hawley, 69 News.
Catherine, thank you. This afternoon, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett briefed the public on the state's efforts to prepare for Sandy. Governor Corbett asked Pennsylvanians to find a safe place and remain there for the duration of the storm. He says 4 million Pennsylvanians may be affected.
Be prepared. Be prepared to stay in your home for an extended period of time, a few days, and possibly without power, without water. You want to make sure that you have water, non-perishable food, medications. If you need your medications, go out and get them today.
And Governor Corbett says Fort Indiantown Gap is a depot to distribute water and generators to parts of the state that need them. The entire East Coast is bracing for Sandy's arrival. New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg ordered the evacuation of more than 375,000 living in low-lying areas. Correspondent Catherine Kim has more on their preparations.
Images that speak for themselves. Hurricane Sandy has not yet made landfall in the U.S., but its fierce winds and rain still are making travel difficult in Ocean City, Maryland. Maryland has already declared a state of emergency. After being briefed by federal officials on the movement of the storm, President Obama had this to say.
My main message to everybody involved is that we have to take this seriously. My message to the governors as well as to the mayors is anything they need, we will be there.
And many are heeding the warnings. From North Carolina to Maine, residents are purchasing the essentials, not knowing how long flooding and power outages may last.
I don't know what to expect at this point. I don't know if it's going to be as bad. We've had Irene here. Fairhaven had winds of like 80 miles an hour sustained, and that's rough.
Forecasters fear Sandy could merge with a cold front, bringing up to a foot of rain in parts. Heavy snow could also be possible in the Appalachian Mountain region. Public transportation in New York and New Jersey is ramping down, and officials in New York City announced the evacuation of 375,000 residents in low-lying areas. New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg had a message for those considering riding out the storm.
Let me stress, if you don't evacuate, you're just putting your own life in. You're not just putting your own life in danger. You are also endangering the lives of our first responders who may have to come in and rescue you.
Sandy has so far been blamed for dozens of deaths in the Caribbean, mostly in Haiti. Catherine Kim, 69 News.
Just a reminder, if you do lose power during the storm, you can stay up to date with 69 News by downloading the Sync Back app on your smartphone. You can watch and listen to full newscasts and reports from the AccuWeather channel through that app. Just go to the App Store and look for Sync Back. That is spelled SYNCBAK. And WFMZ.com will keep you posted with the very latest on the storm. 69 News at sunrise will begin at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, half hour earlier there, and we'll provide you with expanded coverage as the storm makes landfall. You can follow our interactive hurricane tracker on the website as well and see the latest forecast, and much more coming up for you in a little bit with the weather. Story of the day here. We are tracking Sandy as she moves along.
Yeah, and it's a slow progress here. Yeah. It's going to move a little bit further to the north and the east before moving back toward the west and closer to the United States. So it's a long duration with this event, and unfortunately it's going to have a huge impact on the northeast and the middle Atlantic. Let's take a look at the high temperatures that we saw today, because earlier today, not too bad. You were able to get outside and do whatever you had to do, but that rain started to move in and those winds increasing across the viewing area this evening. You see the high temperatures, 57 Lehigh Valley, 58 in Reading. Right now, as far as the temperatures go outside, 56 Lehigh Valley, 55 in Reading right now. And most locations are dealing with temperatures that are in the middle 50s. Now, as far as what we're seeing with the radar, you can see that line stretching from Schuylkill County all the way down through Berks County and into Chester County. We're going to continue to see some heavier bands of rain make their way through our viewing area as we move through the next several days, and even through the overnight period tonight. Look for the rain to become heavier and steadier as we move through the overnight period. Rainfall amounts so far, most of us not seeing a whole lot. You can see over 1/4 of an inch already falling in Pottsville, and that's where we saw that heavier band of rain kind of develop over the last couple of hours. Now, Sandy still well off to our south and our east. It is a Category 1 hurricane with sustained winds of 75 miles an hour, and you can see the bands that it's pushing into eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey, even Delaware, parts of Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, and all the way back to Ohio. Now, this is the cold front that actually pushed off to the east, made its way into western Pennsylvania, but then Sandy took over and pushed it right back where it came from. Very impressive. That just goes to show you how powerful this storm actually is. Now, the wind speeds aren't that bad right now. 15 miles an hour in the Lehigh Valley, 17 in Philadelphia, but they gradually have been increasing throughout the day, and the gusts have gotten up to 30 miles an hour at times. But you can see right now the highest one that we have is in Philadelphia at 24. Now, the progress of Sandy initially has it moving back to the north and the east over the next, I would say, about 10 or 12 hours or so, and then it moves into the United States as we move into Tuesday morning. So it makes that left-hand turn and pushes into south central New Jersey, and then continues off to the west and into south central Pennsylvania before tracking further off to the north and the east as we move into the middle and second half of the work week. So the worst of it, I think, here comes Monday afternoon into Tuesday, and that's generally going to be the situation for, I think, the Jersey coast and all the way down to the Delmarva Peninsula. Monday afternoon, Tuesday into Tuesday is really going to be the worst of it. Rainfall amounts 4 to 8 inches. Locally, you could see higher than 8 inches, especially for the Delaware Valley, southern New Jersey, and parts of the shoreline. Peak wind gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour, but we could see gusts 70, 80 as you get into those same locations where I was just talking about. With the wind, the soft ground, we're going to see trees come down on power lines, so we expect power outages around the viewing area. Also, flooding a concern on the smaller streams and creeks. Could even see some flooding on some of the larger rivers, and we have that high wind warning in effect for a good portion of our viewing area. We have that aerial flood watch and the coastal flood watches, so a lot going on over the next couple of days, all with Sandy moving into the area. So Sandy affects us. I think Sandy actually pulls out of here as we move into the middle and second half of the work week, so we're going to see things dissipate as we move through Wednesday, throughout the day on Wednesday. Even Tuesday night, it looks like things starting to diminish a little bit across our viewing area. Overnight tonight, increasingly windy, a steadier rain late. An overnight low of 48 degrees. Then on Monday, heavy rain, strong, locally damaging winds. High temperature of 56 degrees. The winds out of the north at 25 to 45 miles an hour, sustained gusts up to 60 on Monday. And I think that continues right into Tuesday morning. Now on Tuesday, we are going to see things start to change a little bit as we move into the evening hours. I think once it makes landfall, we're going to see a big change with Sandy. It starts to dissipate a little bit. We'll also see the winds diminish or start to diminish. It's still going to be a windy day on Tuesday, but we'll see the winds start to diminish as we move through the day. And then it looks like better conditions for Halloween on Wednesday, and they just continue to slowly get better as we move through the day. So may not be the worst situation for some of the trick-or-treaters that are still going out on Wednesday, you know, if you're not dealing with other far more important things at that time. Hopefully that's the case, but a lot of concern over the next 48 to 72 hours with what Sandy's going to do.
Sure, and especially with it slow moving like that, it could be here for a while.
Yeah, especially with beach erosion and that storm surge along the coastline. Major concerns there.
All right, thanks. We'll check in with you again. Thanks, Mark.